This is a Seawall inspection conducted in Eastern Shores on October 8th, 2014. Tide is about an hour to low tide. It's 3:30 in the afternoon right now. We're going to be inspecting the bottom footer, the slab, and all the king piles just to see what's the condition and where are the weak spots. I'm going to start the survey at the eastern portion of the property, making our way west on the canal along the seawall. We'll start with the low areas first, looking at the bottom footer and the gaps, and then we'll go towards the central area of the panels and the king piles. Water average right now is 10 to 12 feet along the wooden piling all the way, all 250 linear feet. This is the first piling. As you can see, it belongs to the complex next door. Going down to the footer. portion of the property, going along the footer, the lower slab. Right now, the only area that I've seen is the one cavity that I stuck my stainless steel prong in, and I don't see many more of those. There's definitely a drop-off about 4 or 5 feet away from the wall. It's been dredged into the rock. If you look at the profile of the seawall, it is not showing any major buckling or failure. However, there is definitely work to be done on the bottom of the cap, as you can see in different areas here. The panels are not cracked, at least not the ones I can see right offhand, which is a good indication that it's still structurally, the panels are still holding on. Tie back covers are still covered. They probably would benefit from some new hydraulic cement to cover, and areas like there where the rebar is a little exposed need to be covered, and then the seams need to be redone along the H-piles. That is a definite. There's an old tie back plate here, and that should have been treated and should be it's still probably holding, so I'd still rust treat it and then concrete it over, because that's a tie back support to this tie back over here. So right here there is, next to the drain, the storm drain pipe, which is very good that it's here. Hopefully your drainage system hooks up to this storm drain. The panel has some cracks right around it. That's not unusual because of the fact that a big pipe was put in the wall here. Again, same thing with this tie back. Looking at, you can see the cap here. The bottom of the cap is fractured and the lower layer of rebar is exposed. As you can see right here, this should be repaired and can be repaired right now for a certain period of time to protect the remaining part of the cap, and so all the cracks that, you wet the lens again, that you can see right here, you just have them sealed, and if you seal them, then you give the original cap some more time. And so this could be all fixed with some new rebar and hydraulic concrete. And again, those tie backs over here also acid treated, and they're still in relatively good shape. They're not completely brittle and broken, so that's a good thing. They're still salvageable. These tie backs are not dead, which is a good thing. Some cracks in the king pile, which is again because of the age of this seawall. That's not unusual. Continuing down on the easterly direction, this is where I marked where I saw the void underneath the seawall. It's one section right on the bottom corner of this H-piling over here. I'm going to go down there again and show you. And about 3 feet deep, 2 feet high, 2 feet wide. Not unusual, very easily repaired right now. As you can see, the issue here is also you're losing a lot of the sediment through these gaps that I'm now photographing with my prong, because water will come through here with sediment from your top side, and that's why all these seams have to be redone, just as was suggested. Right here again, the tie back needs to be redone. Most of the riprap work that was done here before is holding on. Some of it needs to be fixed, but not all of it. And there's only one area later we're going to get to where the cap is showing some bowing that we're going to check. This tie back over here should have had something locking it. It doesn't, so it should be cut and then concreted, so at least it's not going to feed water through the rebar into the remaining part of it. Again, H-piles have some, the king piles have some damage, but not unusual. There's a second panel with some very small cracking in it. There's really no way to say the condition of the panel on the water side because it has to be jet blasted, so but I don't see big surprises here. I don't think we're going to see any. Again, reseaming the radius is the key part of this to maintain. And then right here, as you can see on the cap, on the bottom of the cap, right there, that's again sealing that right now. Would give it a long time. And then all these tiebacks, they need to be treated right now with a plate and concreted, and then it will give it some, definitely extend the life of it. Around these drain pipes as well, just reconcrete that again. And here again, the tiebacks, this is some old drain. I would cut that off completely and just seal it. I don't think it's really an active one when it's just rusting. Again, panels up to now appear straight and no major longitudinal or horizontal cracking in them. So good news. Again, cap has some cracks in the bottom of the cap, but really overall only the most western area shows some more substantial damage. Over here it's all just basically resealing it, treating it with some rust in places that you can see the rust bleeding. We usually inject some primer acid that we use, which is a wonderful product. It converts the steel and then just seal it with hydraulic concrete. This is an example of the radius. There's a need to fill the radius here as it's completely open. Rains, erosion happens through it, and that's why there's the failure on the garage part on the ground there, where the tar is all cracking up, is because it's losing sediment through here. Again, tie back should be treated right now, cut back and concreted to create. It's very unfortunate that the people that installed this did not do that, and it could still be done right now, and hopefully it will give the seawall some stability for at least another period of 3 to 4 years, even longer. Again, if you look at the profile of the seawall, you don't see very steep angle looking at from the side. It looks relatively straight. The pilings were not put in very straight, but that's just the way it was constructed. It's very difficult to do that in a perfect manner. All these 8 piles, there's some king piles coming up. Again, the drain pipe, well placed, just needs some seaming around the corner of the pipe to prevent the erosion from there. Again, same thing. Basically, the radius is on the king piles and on the H pile and the T pile. They have to be done every 10 years or so as part of regular maintenance of seawalls. And this seawall is obviously due. These, as you can see, are king piles. They're heavier, bigger, And the only area that I see some stress on the piling is right here. There's some cracks right there and there, but that's not structural. And that buckling of the cap does not look to me like it's major structural. It looks to me like this was also part of the way it was formed by the people who poured this cap, and just did not do a very symmetrical job. But if you look, you don't see any heavy cracks here, and actually this area, the cap underneath, looks better, except the small area over there that we're going to get to now. There's some slight angle on the T-piles if you look at them from here, but that's due to the age. And I cannot say I can see any real smoking gun here right now. Right, we'll return to the eastern portion of the seawall. Right here, there's this one area that shows some underneath the cap, some damage in the rebar, and the rebar is exposed and some rust, but could be easily repaired. And there's a little bit of a structural, but not enough to jeopardize the entire cap. Again, if you see the long shot, I don't know if the camera captures it or not, you can see that bowing in the cap. I don't see any stress. It is difficult to see because there's lumber covering the face of the cap, but just from judging, looking at how this was poured, seems to me like this is part of how it was built, and not due to stress, because these king piles are standing very straight and proud and not leaning in any kind of angle towards the canal side. This is all this summarizes this. There's definitely a big drop about 4 or 5 feet away from the wall, angling down towards deeper water. However, there is not a breach in the seawall or anything that shows that it's about to happen in any imminent way. Of course, due to adverse weather conditions, it can happen in the future, and probably the seawall will need to be replaced in the coming years. However, right now, I think I can say that this seawall is structurally sound still. This completes our survey. Survey conducted by S.M.D. on October 8, 2014, Eastern Shores, Florida. Thank you.